what I like to do in this day and age is I like to give a little bit of honesty, because I don't want kids' minds to be filled with this, nonsense that they think I can just do that, because you need to know what it takes to get there. And people aren't willing to share that side of it. I want to let people know that, hey, if you want to be a pop star, let me tell you something. It's a fantastic, fun life, but it's damn hard.
And so here we had this dilemma, this fact.
I've spent almost a decade researching this subject.
Every aspect of your metabolic health improves.
From the Hint offices in San Francisco, I'm Kara Goldin, founder and CEO of Hint. You may have tried Hint water before, but this is my podcast. Each week, we talk to some of the most creative entrepreneurs, from world-touring pop stars like Jay Sean to the people behind favorite Instagram accounts, including So Yummy, New York City, and even YouTubers like Sarah Dietschy. So the million-dollar question, what does it really take to be unstoppable? Let's find out. I'm so excited to open season 2 of Unstoppable with a friend and multi-platinum chart-topping recording artist. You've definitely heard his music before, and I can't stop dancing when it comes on. That said, it's my pleasure to introduce Jay Sean and his beautiful wife, manager, business partner, and former recording artist, Thara. In today's episode, we talk about some topics you don't usually hear about in other Jay Sean interviews. We talk about what life is like as a pop star, the highs and the lows, what it's like to manage your spouse on a professional level, and how it feels to be a globally recognized icon. Now sit back and enjoy the show. So super thrilled to have you two here today.
Absolutely.
And the couples that are working together, very dear to my heart since I work with my husband as well. So
there you go.
I'm super thrilled to open season 2 of Unstoppable with such two amazing guests. These two people not only have such a great story, but also have created countless experiences for people around the world. And first of all, we have Thara.
Yeah,
all right.
Absolutely.
And Jay Sean.
Yes.
Very
hello.
excited to have you both here. It's such a pleasure. So we're here in our New York studio. First, let me talk about Jay for a few minutes. International superstar with hundreds of millions of plays, multiple platinum plaques, sold out concerts, nearly 500 million Viva views. And I have to tell you that my 12-year-old son, when he heard that I was interviewing today, I went up about 4 notches on the cool spectrum.
There you go. Always nice to hear.
And can always get my kids to be dancing to music as long as I'm playing your stuff. Very, very cool. So, and Thara, so former recording artist. She's worked with everyone from Kanye West to one of my personal favorites, an investor in Hint, John Legend, who's also just a super, super cool, talented person. Absolutely. Thara has also toured the world as a singer and met her husband, Jay. They have a 4-year-old daughter as well, and she is Jay's manager. Gorgeous, beautiful, talented, smart wife as well. And she's the CEO of Get Toned with Thara, and also an owner of a terrific yoga studio in New Jersey as well, called
Fire Shapers.
Super cool. So welcome to the two of you guys. Thanks so much for being here. And also Hint fans over here.
Absolutely.
I heard we've got Hint in the house as well.
Always.
Very, very, very cool. So welcome. So I want to ask you guys a couple of questions. First of all, I want to just hear, maybe we'll start at not totally at the end, but somewhere along the route where you guys started working together.
Right. Well, I think the short version is I was always aware of Thara. Tara's aware of my music. We're both Indian. We have Indian roots. And so we met at a show in Miami, which was for an Indian convention of I think it was lawyers, wasn't it, or something? I don't know.
No, the South Asian Student Association.
Yeah, they'd put on the show. Yeah. We met each other. And, what can I say? I mean, I saw her and I was like, okay, yeah, she's opening up for me. It's kind of cute, okay? But then we got to actually hang out.
Yeah.
And we just really clicked, actually. It was one of those situations where we just really clicked. We got on really well. Then I made up this brilliant excuse that I needed to work with her producer, so I needed to come back to New York.
I love
again.
this.
Yeah. And so she was like, oh, yeah, let's do some work in the studio. So
my God, this is
I'm just
awesome.
coming over there just to hang out, really.
Yeah.
But ended up working with Jeremy, who's our producer. And, I mean, that was amazing in itself, because if it wasn't for her producer, I wouldn't have had the #1 in America, because it was with him who I wrote it with.
That's
So it was
awesome.
beautiful. So Thara not only did, we got together as husband and wife in the end, but also the working relationship. It wasn't for her, I wouldn't be working with Jeremy, we've done 3 albums together.
That's
and
awesome.
now Jeremy also really manages me together with Thara. So it was all meant to be. It was beautiful.
That's so great. So you were the link.
Yeah,
you
I
were
was
the
link.
You were the
Yeah,
link in
man.
here.
Yeah.
That's so cool. So you guys working together, do you feel like you have different skill sets?
Oh,
Very,
absolutely.
yeah,
100%.
yeah,
Yes.
Just from meeting you
But
two,
in the
you seem
best
like you're
way.
different, but in
in the best way, because I think we balance each other.
Yeah,
You know?
and you appreciate each other's strengths, and
I think, honestly, like, a lot of people say, how can you, because they just do, how can you work with your wife? Isn't that difficult to switch off? Because, I'm sure you get the same thing, right? If you're working with your husband, when you get home, where's your switch off? What do you talk about? Because you've been talking about work
Yeah,
all day, and
yeah.
then you'll go home and you're like, it's still work, and it was, it's all those things. But it actually really works out perfectly, because in the music industry or in the entertainment industry, there's tons of sharks. There's so many people out there who are just going to want to bite you up and take advantage and, spit you out. And who's going to look out for me more than my own wife? Who's going to make sure the money is good enough for all the gigs? So that all comes through her. So she's like, no, that's not good enough, I'm afraid, blah, blah. Whereas if it was another manager, he'll be like, oh, yeah, I'll take it. Give me
Yeah.
what you got, I don't care. Oh, it's cheaper than we'd normally do it, but yeah, let's, So you got her looking out for my brand, you got her looking out for my well-being, and also looking out for our finances, looking out for all of that. And it really works. And all I have to do is go out and sing a few songs.
sing a few songs
Sing a
here and
few
there.
songs.
Well, yeah, I mean, your daughter's a little younger than ours, but what I've learned over the years, so I mentioned we have 4 kids, like I always talk about, like, it's actually less complicated because we work
Yeah.
together, because we have the same initiatives that we want to work. So our
Exactly.
family and our business.
There you go.
Right? And
Simple.
so for example, right now my husband is touring a college with my daughter.
Yeah.
Because we're on this coast, and he went off today to go and do that. And I'm doing some work here, not to say that he isn't
Yeah.
working, but it's just like, and we balance it. And I've also
Support each
seen,
other.
I have 2 girls and 2 boys, and I mean, it's really funny too over time. Like my daughters now, while I was so much, I mean, I can't say I'm not tight with them now, but I did a lot more with them when they were younger. When they get into the teenage years, you know who they want? They want him.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, it's really interesting.
It happens,
and like,
and
as they're
I'm-
going through that phase of
Yeah.
like, they want to know why, dudes that they're hanging out with are acting a certain way. And
They need
you'll
a
see
father
it.
figure. No, we
Yeah.
see it already.
Yeah.
Beautiful, though.
We see it,
It
with Aiden
is.
right now.
It's great.
Even to just go off topic for a second and go into family, like what I noticed is, with our daughter, I am going to be, and forever will be her first love as a man.
Totally.
Dad.
Totally. Yeah.
So whatever dad is like and the way dad treats her is what she's going to expect from guys when she grows up.
Yeah.
So if I treat her with love and respect and show her all the, like, if I make her laugh and I take care of her, she's going to look for all those qualities in guys. She's going to be like, actually, you're not as cool as my dad. You're not as funny as dad. You don't take me out of places to eat like dad does. You don't treat me like a lady like
100%,
dad does.
yeah.
So you're actually a douchebag, so no to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's what guys have to understand, the impact that they have on their kids, and especially their daughters. If you treat them so well, that's all they'll expect when they're older.
Well, and also the other thing that, I think my kids have seen is the way that my husband respects me.
Yeah.
As
that's
a
very
business
important.
person.
Oh, yeah.
And so my son, who's now 16, he woke up when he was 12 and we were having dinner together, and he looked at me and he's like, I think he was watching Sheryl Sandberg or something talk on television about lean in, and he was like, Mom, so wait a minute. Let me get this straight. So women are not CEOs, and like parents don't work together, and like he's not like living in this hole somewhere. Like he was just like it was just all like it was just like this
Epiphany.
epiphany
This big
and stuff. And
epiphany.
he was like, wow. Like, and he was like, so talk to me about this stuff.
Nice.
And he was like, because you and Dad, like, I don't know, it just kind of flows back and forth.
That's all they've ever known, right? Yeah,
and especially in Silicon Valley, where we're based, I mean, there's a lot of chatter about, this discrepancy, and I'm sure in the music industry as well. But, I mean, the fact that, your daughter and other artists are seeing you too, I mean, like, that's a huge, huge impact that, you may not even, like, know that you're, like, living it, right? But I'm sure that, there's artists out there who think about it and think, like, the trust that they have with their spouse or their girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever, like, can they somehow bring that into some kind of company? And I always tell people, as long as you have, like, different skill sets and you have an appreciation for someone else's skill set.
Yeah, that's the key.
Right?
Like, people ask me all the time, how do we work together? And I always say it comes down to respect.
Yeah.
I have to respect what he brings to the table, and he has to respect what I bring to the table. And as long as we always have that respect for what each other shows up with, we're good. The issues come when someone else thinks, oh, well, I can do it better than how someone, because we let each other do. We're like, okay, that's your lane, this is your lane, and,
It's like even with the traveling and touring, it's so draining. And like Tara knows my schedule because she half the time is behind the schedule.
Yeah.
And I'll say to her, I'm like, babe, I just finished this show. It's 3 a.m. and I've got a 5 a.m. pickup and I've got, to go and do this tomorrow. Is there no other way that we can do this? Because I'm exhausted right now. Now, you can only, if I tell that to my wife, she'll understand. She'll be like, you know what? He's right. That's my husband. He needs to go out and perform again tomorrow. This schedule is not right. We need to fix this. You tell that to someone else, they'll be like, just do your job. Like, they don't care because they're not invested as much.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you want me to do my best job. If I can't speak in the morning because I'm exhausted and there's so many planes and flying around and this, that, and the other, someone's got to fix this. So when I get to say it to my own wife, she's going to handle that.
I think that's awesome.
And I love that.
Yeah. And I think it's but I think it's also like, there's no right way, right? Which I think is what you guys are really showing that, I think that in today's society there's so many great entrepreneurs and especially creative entrepreneurs that are just throwing all the rules away, right? Like whether it's, you have to work for certain people before you branch out and go do your own thing or open for certain people or whatever. Husband and wives can't work together. You must be sort of in an industry for a certain amount of time before you can go out and headline, or you have to go do Coachella before you could ever go do, like I think that you guys are breaking that stuff, which is really, really admirable.
And I think what you said really hit the nail on the head, that there's only 2 focuses for me and for her, and that literally is family, career. And once you know that, you do everything and anything you need to do to preserve those goals and to reach those goals.
Yeah.
Because you have a focus now. So it's like even when we had our daughter, I said to Tara, I was like, it's really funny. I was like, up until the moment I had her, I was living for us and me and you, and then I'd be like, if I saw a pair of sneakers that I liked, I'd be like, okay, grab those. Then when you have a kid, you're like, nothing else matters. The kid matters. The kid's future matters. So then what happens is you become more aggressive with your business. So now, if there was a promoter who'd be like, yeah, man, I got this show and so, but maybe we can bolt on these 2. And I'm like, no, Tara, now it's just like, if this guy is a shoddy businessman, I'm not working with him. This is not my money anymore.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It used to be like, you can mess around with me and my money. This is not that. It's for our future now.
Yeah.
So it's now you're actually messing with my family. So you better be on you about your business, and it makes you so much sharper and more focused, and I love that.
Yeah. I'll never forget, we were out raising money probably like 11, 12 years ago, and we went and talked to this guy. I had, a great conversation. He was super interested in investing in our company, and he was like, I only have one problem with your company. And we're like, oh, what's that? And he was like, so I've never seen a husband and wife team actually like make it. And he actually said, Theo, to my husband, he's like, I want to talk to you about this a little bit. And basically I was just like, throwing the finger and everything. And I'm like, I'm out. Like, I remember walking around the block and just thinking, like, I don't know if I want to take money from that guy. Right.
I don't need your money.
Right. Like, I was just like, whatever. And so my husband says to the guy, he was like, so I'm not disagreeing with you. I just can't really think of a husband and wife team that haven't made it. So can you just like tell me so I can really visualize?
Right.
And he was like, well, I can't really think of one right now.
So, like, why say it then?
And I was like,
reason.
oh my God, that was awesome. And he was like, yeah. And he was like, he sat there and he was like, well, I can't think of one, but I'm sure they're out there. Right, and so he just starts laughing about this. And we've seen the guy since, and he was like, I'll never forget. You guys totally. And then actually he came back to us a couple years later and wanted to put money into our company. And I was like, you know what? Like, I'll still go have a beer with you at some point, but I'm like, it's all good. Yeah. Like, I just don't want, I don't know, there was just something weird, like, about that conversation, right? Like, and I don't know if people have ever said that to you, but just remember that. Like, it's just like, it's like people get these ideas, right?
We have encountered situations, and Tara, you know this, where people, because she's a woman, don't want to talk to her about it. They would rather talk to my other manager, Jeremy. Yeah. With them two work together. And I'm like, that's actually ridiculous. And then there's other times where people are like, can we just deal with Tara because she's so nice and easy to deal with and blah, blah, blah. So, like, you can be... I think the problem with... Actually, you should speak for yourself about this. Like, the problems that you might encounter sometimes being a boss, but being a woman. Because if you're a boss and you're a woman... People call you a bitch, right? Am I wrong?
No, totally.
Oh, she's a bitch. Yeah. But if you're a guy and you're a boss, that guy, he's the man. He's a boss.
Yeah.
It's interesting, right?
Yeah, no, it's totally interesting. And then people might, I don't know if you've ever had people say, I mean, I can't speak for you guys, but I know we've had people say, like, I don't know if I want to come and work for a husband and wife team. And I've said, like, why? Like, and they're, why? Because we get along?
Right.
Like, I mean, we've been married for 23 years. Right. Like, we have 4 kids together. Yeah. Like, we've run a company together for 13 years. Right. Like, I mean, so which part? Right. Like, I mean, the number of times that I've talked to, people who have managers that something's gone wrong or partners in something where it's like you can't finish sentences, for each other kind of thing. Like, it's just, anyway. So I think
the nicest thing about a lot of the business that we do, and it probably comes down to the fact that we are a husband and wife team, is that we run our business, everyone's like a family.
Yeah.
Because we bring that element. Yeah. So then we only want people around us who contribute to that family in a positive way.
Yeah.
So we very often, I think it's a nice thing.
Yeah, no, totally. I think it's
a wife team.
I think it's awesome. We didn't necessarily start out the podcast by thinking that we were going to go in that direction, but I think it's really interesting, and it's an aspect of you two that is super cool and it's not common, but maybe it should be more common anyway, for whatever it's worth. I think so. So
thank you.
So Tara too, so you switched careers. Obviously, you were on the artist side of things, and then you're now more on the management side. Like, how, I mean, is it strange to...
You know what? I felt like I love managing him. I love helping him fulfill his dreams.
Yep.
It's beautiful. At a certain point for me, I was no longer feeling like my soul was no longer fulfilled by the music industry. And that's hard, right? So I had that moment where I said, you know what? This isn't for me anymore as an artist. So I took a break. I went and got certified as a yoga teacher. And that's a huge thing that a lot of people ask me about. How did I switch? I went from so many years of doing, I was an artist. That was my life. I lived it. I ate it. I breathed. I used to rehearse 6 hours a day at the dance studio. Then I would go to voice lessons. Then I'd be in the studio all night. How did I switch?
Yeah.
And I don't put in that much work.
Right. I did. I was a total...
Jay, you are not supposed to say that.
That's the difference between us. He gets to show up. I'm like, aren't you going to do your vocal exercises? So I really... The way that I switched was that I went and I immersed myself in something else.
Yeah.
So I went away for 9 weeks to a yoga training. And
so awesome.
So I had to switch it. And then I came back and I was teaching yoga, but then I was still on the sidelines with him. And then sidelines turned into assisting, and then assisting turned into managing.
Yeah.
Which is now what I do.
That's awesome.
Still, yeah.
Do you think you'll ever go back to performing?
Not to performing.
No, you're done.
No, I'm
You've
done.
closed that chapter.
You know what? I think that I have found my voice in a different way. So I still use my voice every day as a yoga teacher. I don't like to think of my yoga studio as a stage,
Right.
but in essence,
You still are up there on
I'm
stage.
still
yeah.
up there performing. I'm up there creating.
Well, you understand every aspect of it,
You know?
too. Yeah, which is so huge. I have a friend of mine, Randy Zuckerberg, who actually performed on Broadway, and then she decided to work on executive producing Dear Evan Hansen, and now she's done a few other shows as well. But I was talking to her about this as well.
Yeah.
Like, she had been actually performing, and,
Right.
and then she decided to go on the front end of
Yeah.
things, and it's the same
It's the
thing.
same
Like,
thing,
she
and
loves that.
I have so much. I do have a deeper understanding for what
Yeah.
he goes through
It's
than
huge.
anyone else because I've been on stage.
Right.
I know what it's like. So I'm always going to have a little bit more empathy for him than someone else will.
That's awesome.
You know, it's easy for agents and managers and people to like talk the talk and create a schedule.
Right.
When you're not the artist, haven't
Yeah.
been on that side, you don't really know what it's like.
No, I think that's huge. So,
Yeah.
okay, so Jay, obviously from the UK over
Yes.
here. So
Yes.
hear the awesome accent actually
Yeah.
in there. So when you started singing, family, tell me a little bit about how this all started.
Well, I always used to do music from a very young age. I was rapping, I was beatboxing, I was DJing, I was singing. So my parents knew this guy loves music. He's just obsessed with it.
Are they in the music industry
No,
at all?
not at all.
No.
The only person who can vaguely, well, actually, my granddad could sing, but like my
That's
brother
awesome.
can kind of sing. It's funny, but we don't know where we got it from. Probably from granddad. But anyway, I was also really academic, so you know I did really well at school. And
What was
I
your
loved-
favorite subject?
So it was science, so it was really biology was my favorite. And because of that, I was obsessed with the human body and just like I still am obsessed with how we have been created and what we're like and how we could just heal ourselves, and the whole thing is incredible.
I love it.
So I was super geeky about it, and because of that, I actually went in and I got into med school. So I wanted to be a doctor. Not because my parents wanted me to be, which is what a lot of Indian people think. They think it's because your parents pushed you. For me, it was not. My dad, you know, is a businessman. My mom is a businesswoman. And they had nothing to do with my career choice. So I went into medical school and I couldn't give up the music.
So you actually started medical school?
Oh, yeah, I was 2 years in, 2.5 years in.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
I was 2.5 years in, and then because I never gave up the music, I got signed by Virgin Records back then through a song that just happened to float off and do its own thing, and then they found out that I was unsigned, and they were like, oh yeah, okay, here's a record deal, and I was like, okay, well I'm currently trying to be a doctor, so I don't...
That is so
Maybe I'll just
crazy.
put that on hold for a bit. And
That
there you
is
go,
so
it worked out,
crazy.
luckily. Yeah.
And did you think, oh, maybe I'll just go back to medical school later?
I think at
and
the time
yeah.
you think that, don't you?
Yeah.
You think, oh, I can always do that.
Yeah.
But then what are you going to do? You become a world famous pop star and then go and sit in class
Yeah.
with kids and go, hi guys, yeah, and so, mitochondria. Okay. It's not...
What kind of doctor did you think you wanted to be?
I always thought a pediatrician because I love kids and, you know, not that any life is more important than another, but if you could get a chance to, you know, to help a kid, they've got their whole life to go.
Totally.
So for me, I was always, you know, probably wanting to work with kids.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
super, super cool. So where do you think, like, when you think about writing and just the creative spark that gets you, what do you think is like, I mean, what drives that? Where do you get your inspiration
Anywhere,
from?
and honestly, it comes at the strangest times and at any time, which is why I have in my phone, my dictaphone app and the notes app, wherever I am, I'll just quickly write it down if I have an idea for a concept or a lyric or a melody. I've had melodies on planes where I've written a whole song on a plane, literally trying to whisper into the phone because there's someone sitting next to me and I'm humming out a melody and I'm like, I've written the whole melody of the whole song on the plane. And then I go to the bathroom just to hear it because I'm like, I'm gonna forget that melody. And so luckily I've written whole songs where I come off the plane, I'm like, oh, right, there you go.
That's awesome.
so-
Do they know who you are? Like when you're doing this?
Usually not. What's really funny is because, like, you know,
My son would know who you were.
well, the
He'd be
reason I
like,
say-
call
the
you
reason I
out.
say this, and it sounds terrible to say this, but like, you know, obviously we're going business class or
Yeah,
first class,
yeah.
wherever we're going, because we travel that much. And usually I'm the youngest person on the plane, and I'm wearing sweatpants. I'm not on the plane in the first class.
Yeah.
And I'm wearing sweatpants and a hoodie and a hat because...
Sitting next to a businessman.
Because guess what? I travel more than any of you guys. I'm on a plane literally probably 3 times a week. I want to be comfortable.
Yeah.
I'm not going in a suit.
Yeah.
I'm wearing my sweatpants.
Yeah.
So they're looking at me going, this guy probably got upgraded.
Yeah.
Or this guy probably...
He won a contest.
He probably won a competition, this guy. Hey, man, you enjoyed first class? It's a good experience for you? Yeah, actually,
that's so funny.
I do this quite a lot, believe it or not. But yeah, the amount of times it's happened. I actually had one person, because I, dressed like I said, the way that I dress. It was a lady, and she goes, "Are you one of those rappers?"
That is so funny.
And I went, "No, not a rapper, actually." "Oh, you must be an athlete." So there's no other way that I could be up there. So it's funny and it's cute, but usually they don't know, so I just get on with what I need to do and, write my songs if I write my songs. But usually it's just sleep and movies. That's it.
That's awesome.
There was a song that I wrote called Jameson, which was completely written on a plane. And that was on the way from Dubai to New York. It was a long plane ride. And again, on the menu, it has a list of all the food, and then it said the spirits. And I was going through there, and they had Jameson. And I thought Jameson, I said, that's funny. I was like, I know a girl called Jameson, a friend of a friend. And then I thought, wow, actually, that's a really cool idea. What if I wrote a song where each line had a double meaning? So there's one side of the story is a guy who's obsessed with this girl called Jameson, who's going to end up hurting him, but he just can't let go of her. But then you listen to the same line from the perspective of an alcoholic who can't let go of the drink Jameson. He drowns his sorrows in the spirit every night, knowing that in the moment it makes him feel better, but in the morning it's gonna crush him. So it's the same thing with this guy. When he's fallen for this girl, in the moment while he's with her, he feels like he's on top of the world, but she's not committed to him, so she's gonna end up killing him too. So it's a deep song, and I wrote the whole story on the plane. And then when I landed, I had this poem, and it was like, it's probably one of the like songs I'm most proud of lyrically, I think. And if you watch the video, it's heavy, because I'm playing the role of an alcoholic in it, and I'm playing the role of a guy Jameson ended up being a stripper in the video, because that's the only way I could figure out how can you be into someone who makes you feel a certain way, but then she's just taking your money, she don't care about you. And this guy's being a fool, keeps going to the ATM. Yeah, give me that hit of love. It's not love, you know what I mean? So it's I wrote that on the plane.
That's interesting.
Maybe after a few Jamesons. But, yeah, there you go.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
So interesting. So my day job is this company Hint, and when I run into people and they say a drink hint, and they'll ask me, where did you get the name? And I'll say, I want to know what you think the name means. And 50% of the people actually think it's a hint of.
Of course.
And then the other 50% think that I'm giving them hints. And so then I'll tell the people, when they tell me their position on it, that the other 50%, and they're like, oh, I never even thought about that.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah,
and so it's one of these double, which I think just, it makes brands, it makes songs, it makes things like
it's nice
much
to know
stickier.
The backstory of why.
Yeah. No. I bet that's super, super huge. So where do you think the two of you are in 3 years from now? Like, what is something that you guys haven't done professionally that you hope to, really, like...
I'll let Thara speak on this one, because basically I'm always talking.
Right now.
Take this brand.
I think the biggest thing that we're both really passionate about at the moment is really investing in something where we can give back. We feel like we've been really blessed, and we've been really lucky that we get connected with lots of opportunities. So he does a lot of charity things through different organizations, but we're yet to really
sink our teeth into something that matters, I think.
And say, like, this is ours and we're going to stand behind it. So that's
so you're searching for what that is.
That's our next initiative.
Yeah, but because honestly, we do feel like, and I know every time people start talking about philanthropy and this and they just sound, especially celebrities, it sounds like, oh yeah, okay, good. What is that? Some sort of tax write-off, or what is it? Like, are you really into it, or do you have to get affiliated with a charity because it makes you look good? So a lot of the time, they're not. It's people come up to us and say, oh, we have this charity. I'm like, okay, but like, I don't want to just say it so that I look good in an interview. That's so, to me, the wrong reason. It's completely the opposite reason of why you should be doing charity. Not because it makes you look good. You should be doing it because you want to do something. So I said to Tara, I was like, forget being affiliated with this charity and that charity. What can we really do? And it's because this feeling comes because of like what we're doing right now is you're asking us questions about us and our life. And that's my life every day. All I keep doing is talking about me and my this and my that and my song this and my this. And I'm like, Jesus, is this really how I'm going to spend the rest of my life? Just talking about me. I was like, I was going to be a doctor. I was going to spend every day for other people. So I said, what can we do, Tara? What can we really do with our platform that we can reach out and help people who really need help? Because the people in my industry, none of them need help. I'm rubbing shoulders with people who are the most fortunate people in the world. So where am I going to step out of that zone? And Tara loves, what she's doing with the yoga because she's literally helping people. Tell her about that lady who couldn't walk, and now you've basically healed her spine with your adjustments.
That's amazing.
It's amazing. With the yoga, it's incredible because you're literally. It sounds so crazy to say you're changing people's lives every day. They're changing. They're mental. They come into me anxiety ridden, high strung. So, some of my other, the people that will work in the studio will say, oh gosh, I don't know if we want to deal with that person. And I'll just say, just love them. Just love on them. They just need love. They just need a little bit of care. And within a few weeks of just filling them up with positivity, they start shifting, and you literally see them coming in calmer. And then on the physical side of things, yes, we have people who, they'll come into me with rounded spines, and just through yoga,
you're able to change. Yeah, it's amazing.
People are telling them they have to have these massive surgeries and put a rod in their back and all this crazy stuff. And yeah, it's not going to be perfect, but we're giving them back a quality of life. Where one day I looked over and she was laying on the floor, and usually we'd always have to put a block under her head because her spine was so rounded that she couldn't lay down flat.
As I'm like,
right? Right? So we spend our day forward folding all the time. And I looked over and I had to do like a double take because her head was down. And it's amazing. So I'm really lucky that I get to feel fulfilled that I'm doing that on a daily basis. The studio, we've created this space where people can come in and for 1 hour, they leave their stuff.
Well, I think, though, to your point, though, telling your stories, though, and how you went to do something that you were really passionate about actually does help people.
Yeah, and
right?
I'd like to think so.
I do think so, and I don't think
I try to tell him that.
100%.
I do.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I know that I'm in a position where I can really, whatever I say, there's kids who are just listening to every word, going, really? Okay, if that's what you did, oh my God, then maybe I've got hope, or maybe I can do this. And I get that, but I just feel like, where you said in 3 years, hands-on, what else can we do? That's where we're headed. We're trying to think of something and, to get our teeth, to sink our teeth into that, something that really, really matters.
Yeah, well, and I think that the more, it's okay, too, to not have, just one cause too.
Yeah.
Like I've said to people too that, we support lots of different causes through health, and, that we're not just about, diabetes just because of sugar. Like it ends up that all roads kind of lead back to being healthier and happier lifestyle. So
yeah, and by the way, as a businesswoman, let's not avoid the elephant in the room. What is it? It's business. It's money. It's financial. You're not going to just do this if it didn't give you a career or a living. So as entrepreneurs, you're trying to, you're trying to create something, but ultimately, you're making money. Let's not bullshit. It's about making money. If this stuff was just all charity, and you're digging out your own pockets for it, at some point you're gonna go, I love this. I'm giving back. I'm doing it, but like shit, I'm making no money. I've got to feed my kids. Right. So if you can find something that can satisfy both, I think that's a beautiful thing. So like with you, with this with his company, it's not just something that's to make a quick buck, because guess what those things are? Those things are the things that are loaded with the high corn fructose syrup and all that stuff, and all the nasty sugary things. They're like, here, kids, have these, eat these quickly, put some money in my pocket. I don't care if your teeth fall out.
Yeah.
Right?
No, totally.
And
totally.
you to re-educate.
Right.
Yeah.
the
No.
market.
Yeah. No, I talk a lot about, and I think it's the same with being, in the music industry and an artist, like, being an entrepreneur today is like the buzzword, right? Everyone wants to be an
Yeah.
entrepreneur, right? Everyone wants to be an artist, but you know what? It's really freaking hard.
Exactly.
Right? Like, it's
Absolutely.
like how,
It
you're on the
sounds so
road,
pretty,
right?
but-
Like you're on, with an entrepreneur, the raising money, the actually,
and the drive, right?
the drive,
When you said to me you started Hint 13 years ago.
Yeah, I had no idea
didn't
it was that
think-
old.
yeah.
I would never have realized it was
Yeah.
13 years ago that but that's the part that nobody saw.
That nobody saw,
Yeah.
right? And
That's
all
the
the
part.
waking up, and same with you guys.
Exactly.
All
We
of
have
that.
those stories of all the work that we put in.
Yeah.
People very often will look at our life and they have a lot of opinions. And I'm like, you have no idea the sacrifices that we
Yeah.
make and how hard we worked to get to this point and how many years we worked for free to get to this point
Yeah.
where he can go out and get paid for a weekend X amount of dollars, right? But then people don't realize he's away from his daughter, he's away from his wife,
Yep.
right? You're on the road, he's in a hotel room by himself at the end of the night. You come off stage to thousands and thousands of people, and then you go back to that hotel room and you're alone.
Yeah.
And it's not fun.
Yeah. No, exactly.
You
Exactly.
waiting
It's a
for
lot
the
of work.
Then the next day to get on another airplane and waiting for that moment where we had the biggest joke last week. He was on the road for 4 weeks doing a tour of Australia.
Wow.
4 weeks.
Yeah, it was
and he came home
crazy.
and he was in the kitchen and he walked over to the fridge and I go, oh my gosh, that must be the best feeling.
To just come home.
No, to
No, to
open the
open a
refrigerator.
fridge.
And open the fridge.
And eat. Because think about it. I've been
what
in a
do I
hotel.
want?
We don't have fruit.
Yeah.
It's a
Fridge.
mini bar. And
Yeah.
it's
And he
not
has to-
my own food.
He
It's
has
not
to
your
order
own.
food, and he has to wait for someone to make it and for them to bring it to him.
Yeah.
And it's not really what he wanted
It's
or what
not
he was
home
in the
cooked.
mood
It's,
for.
it's nice to be at home.
I'm
and-
with you.
Right?
Yeah. I typically travel with my pillow these days. Like that's
See?
like and yeah, and it's
fun.
like the
Because it
one
makes you
thing
feel
that
at
is normal.
home.
But you know what? People aren't going to get it. No matter what we say, people go, oh, you and your hard life with your room service. And your, of course they're going to be
You
like,
know what? The
I'd love
bed-
to be able to pick up the damn phone and say, get me some food.
Yeah.
And people just bring it. I get it. That's why I never harp on about it, because it does sound ridiculous to people who... People would do anything for a one-night hotel getaway.
Yeah.
Most couples would be like, what?
For one night, yeah.
But when you're doing it over and over again,
You
I
miss
totally
certain things.
yeah.
You miss your own bed. You miss little things, and it's a beautiful thing. But like I said, nothing about any of this is easy. We're
Yeah.
all putting in work. And there was someone who said, I can't remember it fully now, as a friend of ours, I think he said, for all the years behind this, before they see your product on the shelf, they don't see the grind. They don't see the hustle. They don't see the tears. They don't see that how many meetings you must have gone into. And you're like, why am I even doing this? Nobody wants to put in money into this. Or, well, it could happen. People won't know if it happened or not. But that happens. The rejections, the why do we need that? They don't see it. But the minute it's on the shelves, they think that, oh, wow, you're killing it. You must be killing it. Oh, you must be a billionaire. Like, people don't get it. And I think that what I like to do in this day and age is I like to give a little bit of honesty, because I don't want kids' minds to be filled with this, nonsense that they think I can just do that, because you need to know what it takes to get there.
Yeah.
And people aren't willing to share that side of it. I want to let people know that, hey, if you want to be a pop star, let me tell you something. It's a fantastic, fun life. But it's damn hard. The competition is hard. Especially now, with millions and millions of kids all around the world who are making music right now at home. They don't need to hire a professional studio anymore. Those days are gone. They can do it at home on their computer. And then they can upload it onto SoundCloud or get it on Spotify, and all of a sudden, they're the new hottest thing. So there's a lot of competition. So I always like to tell people, like, do what you do and love it, but just know that it could be tough. And with that, You have to learn how to handle rejection, how to handle people who, because those are the qualities that are going to get you through it. The thick skin, you know? Mm-hmm. What we were talking about the Kim Kardashian the other day, like, even though, you know, I don't actually follow her on Instagram, but obviously she came up on my feed, and I saw this picture, and I was like, geez, man, how many likes this picture of her feet? It was just a picture of her feet. She had put on this new toenail polish, and it had a 1.5 million. I said, shit's just her feet.
Yeah.
She's got 1.5 million people liking her foot. But then I sort of laughed about it, and then I looked at some of the comments, and I was like, wow, people are mean.
Yeah.
You guys are horrible. Why are you hating on her toes?
And you're exposed, right? Like, it's like,
what is wrong with people? She had perfectly fine feet. And I was like, wow, but you always gonna... Imagine this girl, if she was worried about what the world thought about her, she would delete that photo in a second.
Yeah.
So you got to be thick-skinned, resilient, and that's it, man. It's the only way you can survive.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And that's a great example of a brand that has just really gone out there and exposed themselves. So,
literally.
and right? All right.
Come on, it was a good
I
fun.
love it. It was fun.
You could not, I couldn't not take that one.
So, Jay, you were the first solo South Asian artist to chart on the Billboard Top 100 list. So when you think back on starting in London in the studio with Richie Rich to then having one of the most recognizable songs and owning the Billboard charts, what was that like?
Yes.
Like, what was that memory of...
I just, to this day, I still think about, I remember exactly where I was when I found out that I had the biggest song in America, and I was in England at the time at a radio station. And I'll never forget, you know, because they told me, they was like, listen, man, Black Eyed Peas have been #1 for 25 weeks. Nobody's taking them down. It's not happening. It's probably going to peak at 2. And I was like, all right.
We were happy.
You must have been out of your mind.
I'll take the second biggest song.
When we got into the top 100, remember? We went out.
We
celebrated.
Number 97.
Yeah, 100, right? Yeah.
It's like, I'm in the top 100 songs of America. What are you talking about? Like, you know how many artists are in this world? How many songs are floating around? And mine is one of the top 100 in the United States. I'm celebrating.
Yeah.
So the whole time, I celebrated all the small little successes, and I still do.
Yeah.
I still to this day think about it, and even like with you and your product over here, that's to be in a superstore, in a store where 300 million Americans, just in America alone, have their choice of what to grab, and some of them are grabbing yours. That's beautiful in itself. You did that.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. You have to celebrate these things. It's insane. If you keep going, no, mine needs to be the #1 selling water. Jesus, man, you are up there alongside all the other brands, and people are grabbing yours daily. That's something to like really be proud of. So even with me, with my music, I look at it now, I'm like, look, I've been going for over 15 years. I can go anywhere in this world, and you say my name to somebody, and they're going to go, oh yeah, I know that guy, I know that song. That's incredible.
Yeah, that it's just...
You know, so I'm appreciative of all of it.
I think I talk to entrepreneurs a lot, and, you know, they want to know, I mean, we just climbed over 100 million in sales, and you know, and I'll talk to entrepreneurs, and I remember when we got to 1,000.
There you go.
Right? Like, yeah, I remember, and then it was like 10,000.
Yeah, man.
And then I was like, 100,000. Like, right? Like, I remember that so much, right?
It's
and
lovely.
then you keep setting goals for yourself. I'm sure you do this too. I mean, you know, we've never raised any money from private equity or venture. I mean, we have long, crazy story, but we have over 100 investors in the company. I know. Wow. I might not be able to name them right this minute, but I actually know I've met all of them along the way, and I want to make sure that I see eye to eye with them and all of those things. But I still have goals. I mean, along the way. I mean, I wanted to get this company profitable, which in the beverage industry, I mean, vitamin water was not profitable until they were $250 million in sales, right?
Isn't that crazy? People don't see this
Yeah.
or know this. Yeah.
And so I would have we're now the largest independent non-alcoholic beverage company in the country that doesn't have a relationship with Coke, Pepsi, or Dr. Pepper Snapple. But I knew that as an entrepreneur. I knew that stat, and I said, I'm gonna do better. So I'm sure you guys have these goals as well, where you look at people, you look at, brands, whether it's the Black Eyed Peas or whatever, that you're I'm going to go out and you may not announce to everybody, I'm going to go beat them, be the, who was it, the Kanye West of the, coming out and saying, this is what I'm going to do, go run for president or whatever he's doing. So where do you think that ultimately takes you? I mean, what are the goals that you see, that you really want to get?
Well, now we're diversifying a lot. You can't put all your eggs, well, you can if you want to. I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket, especially not in the music industry. It's ridiculous. I mean, to expect that I'm going to be 75 and still be on stage. Some people are blessed enough to be doing that.
Yeah.
I might not be. So at the end of the day, you got to be smart. If you're making some money, start investing in certain things. So for me, right now, we've just invested in a restaurant and a speakeasy.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, in Richmond, Virginia. It's going to be, together with a partner that we've known for over 10, 12 years. Yeah. Because I'm finally trying to want to do something different, something I can be excited about, something fun, another project that we're into, but also somewhere else where the money's sort of just, it's not tied up in one place.
Yeah.
And then we have the yoga studio, like I said, that's a separate business.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean?
Why Richmond, Virginia?
That's where he lives.
Okay.
And also, it's a very foodie area. The one area that there's, I think it's around the top 5 sort of places where people will go for the foodies go and try different things.
Cool.
So it's in a really good location. It's a huge space, and it's we're really excited about it. But like I said, we want to just try different stuff, and I've been working on a very top secret project, which is not music related, for the last 2 years.
Can you tell us? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. For maybe over the last 2 or 3 years in the making. Because it's sort of like diversifying, really, for us.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So social media. So Instagram and Twitter, we touched on it for a minute, but I want to, go into sort of what do you think is really important in terms of, I really view both of those mediums very, very different. Yeah. Both of you, I'd love to hear. So, you see the fans and, people post when they're at your concerts, which is great. But, what do you think an artist needs to... Do you think you need to be on social media? Do you...
I think you do. I'm totally the worst.
We talk about this very often.
I'm so bad at it. I'm just going to be honest.
I actually don't think you're bad at it. I don't think you're bad at it.
It's horrible. I don't post. I don't do these things because I get on with life.
When I met him, I created.
She was the first one on my YouTube page.
I created his YouTube page.
And MySpace.
Which was the thing back then.
Yeah.
He was never into sharing his personal life.
I'm a very private person. People ask me, I don't even post pictures of my own wife. Because you know what? If you say something about my wife, I'll knock you out. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of idiots over there who'll say, I'd hit that, I'll do this. You know what? Don't make me reach through the phone and grab you, because I'll hit you if you say something about my wife.
Yeah, people are just stupid, though.
People are stupid.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I don't want to give them the platform. Say whatever you want about me. This is my page. This is my name right there. So if you want to rip into me and say whatever you want, I'm good. I'm easy. I ask for that. I don't post pictures of my family. The only thing I do is post a few videos of Ava, because you've really got to be a sick person to say something about a kid.
And she's so damn cute.
You understand what I'm saying? So, but if it's pictures of my mom and dad, my brother, and you start saying some stuff, I'm going to get at you.
Yeah.
Because I'm a very close, private person. So that's why I don't do any of that. But with the posting, yes, I know I need to be better at it. I need to let people know what I'm doing 24 hours a day. But really, I'm just getting on with what I think they want, which is making music, but that's not actually what they want. They want to know all the ins and outs of my day while I'm making music.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I'm old school like that. I've been 15 years in the game. When we made music, we didn't have any platforms. We spent our time making the music, then we gave them the music. then they lived with the music for months, if not years, until we gave the music again. Now they'll listen to an album, it could have 20 songs on it. The next day, they'll be like, okay, cool, man, what else you got? And you're like, I just
did that.
Literally just gave you that.
Blood, sweat, and tears went into that. You need to go listen to it again.
But hey, I can't, who am I fighting? I can't, this is the age we're in.
Yeah.
You have to understand. Even with me, man, I'm going to be honest, my consumer habits are different now. I'm not going to watch a 4-minute trailer of a movie. Not going to watch 4 minutes. Give me it in a minute and a bit and I'll watch it. And that's terrible. That's me saying this. Someone who's from the creative industry. So imagine if you're not in that world. They don't care. It's like they'll listen to 10 seconds of a song. If it hasn't grabbed them yet, you might miss them. It's kind of nuts.
Yeah, it's really crazy.
Yeah.
But I think even the things that we're talking about here, I mean, like, I'm sure my son, for example, is just going to eat this up about that you're a science buff.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that kind of stuff, I think, is really...
Yeah, and I have learned that there are certain things that people... Like, even on the way here, I was looking at someone's page. It was a top actress. And I said, wow, this is not... I'm getting zero of her from her page. I'm just getting pictures from Cosmopolitan that she's done, Variety magazine, this paparazzi pictures. Who are you? I don't know who you are, actually. There's not
you
a
saw it for a moment.
And I finally stepped back and went, I don't know you at all. This page did not help me get to know you. So then I understand now why fans get more excited from a mirror selfie.
Yeah.
Will you try to tell me to take a mirror selfie, someone who's, not 20 years old anymore? I feel like an idiot taking a mirror selfie.
No, exactly.
Especially as a man.
Yeah.
But there are times where I'll go, I do look pretty sick today. I should take a picture. And I'll post it.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
On the whole, it's not my natural go-to. Tara's really good.
I'm different. I have a different take on it. When I first created my page, I remember feeling like, what am I going to post? What am I supposed to talk about? This is weird. Because, I don't necessarily want to show you everything I'm doing in a day. But then when I got really clear on my purpose and my vision, it became really easy, right? So what is my purpose in life? My purpose in life is to help and inspire other people to get healthier, to live a healthier life. I want to show people a healthy relationship between a mother and a daughter. I want to show people a great relationship with fitness and wellness. So that makes it really easy for me. So anything that I post is always going to be in alignment
with
those values.
Yeah, which I think is really, I think that's what people want to see too. But and I think,
my thing from the day that we started sharing about our relationship was that I wanted to share a positive and healthy relationship in the entertainment world, because I think you see a lot of negative ones, sadly, or we'll see ones where we're so invested in the couple and then it falls apart and then you're heartbroken and sad. So I always just wanted to share a really positive space, you know?
Which I think is, it's awesome. But I think that the stories are really, like, those are the brands that stick. And, I look at, Beyonce and Jay-Z. I think that there's so many... I don't know. You don't see Jay-Z out there posting as much as
he doesn't post
Beyonce.
anything.
No, but
I don't think no.
But I think that their storytelling, like, I think
they
that
choose
people,
where they're going to share their stories.
Totally.
Right? And they share.
And then they share where those stories are and what they are. But I think that most people feel like they really understand, whether they do or not. I think people feel like they're getting that from social.
Right.
So streaming, do you mind if we jump into sort of like the music industry a little bit and talk about, so obviously you're touring, a ton, streaming music, where has it been and where's it going?
I think it's incredible. I don't even, people who buy my album, stop it.
Yeah.
Stop that. You're nonsense, because nobody is going to spend money when they know they can stream it for free. That's just the honest to God truth. It's the same thing, again, sorry to use your analogy, but I've been saying these even before I came here. I used to give people this analogy. I said, if you were thirsty and you wanted a glass of water, and there was a lady there just handing out water for free, and then there was a lady right next to her going, $2, please. Is any fool going to stand there and pay $2 when this lady is giving exactly the same product for free? Nobody is. So for me, I don't expect people to, I don't harp on about the buying. Of course, it's lovely and we need it for the record labels. They need to, but they're also making money from streaming.
Right.
Streaming is the way forward, right? And it's perfect for us because we get to know exactly what is popular or not. I can see it right there in the numbers. Ooh, they actually like this song better than this one. I thought this one would do better. No, they like number 4. They don't like the song I gave them as much. I'm learning from them. And that's an incredible thing. So I love the streaming platform and the streaming model.
And it's immediate too. So it helps you to...
It really is. It
right?
lets you know. It's just an immediate indicator, no nonsense. This is popular. And this is what they like. Because they keep coming back for it. And that's it. It's awesome.
And so do you think the industry is like... Where do you think that will ultimately...
I think they've caught up. I think they finally have caught up. In the beginning, they didn't realize how they're going to make... But labels make money from streaming. The writers make money from streaming. The artists make money from streaming. It's not amazing. It's not as amazing as a sale. Let's be honest. But it's still where we are. We're surviving in a climate where digital took over everything. As long as you... figured it out. The music industry finally figured it out.
It took us a while because when I opened the studio, so the studio just turned 3. So when I first opened, so only 3 years ago, I didn't have a Spotify account yet.
Right.
Because I was still boycotting.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not going to use Spotify because we don't make enough money off of that. That's not going to work. So when we opened the studio, I was still purchasing every single song that I played in my classes. And then within that year, or the first year, I finally transitioned to being like, okay, I guess we can support this now. So it wasn't that long ago.
Biggest library in the world.
No, I mean,
it's just like, it's kind of like at this point saying, I'm not going to use the internet for anything. I'm going to go to the library and take out a book and find out the answer.
Even have the books
yeah. No, it's true. It's just how much it's changed and how fast it's changed too. I mean, I remember when iTunes first came out and, Madonna and U2 said, we're not participating. Yeah. And that didn't last very long.
Yeah, look,
right?
for a long time wasn't on Spotify.
Yeah, like it's the world changes.
The world changes. Consumer habits change. You have to move with it.
Yeah. So what do you need to do as an artist? You need to tour? You need to
Well, no. I mean, we're still good because I write... Because I write all my own stuff, right? So as a songwriter, that's like a beautiful thing. Publishing and the pension it's like a pension. Every time it gets played or performed anywhere, it's good. I'm getting royalties, but that's because I wrote it. If you're not a songwriter,
that's what I was wondering.
It's probably difficult. And then I would say a lot of it comes down to making money from touring and making money from endorsements. A lot of these people have big brands paying them X amount of money a year, and they're making good money like that. But, I think as a songwriter, it's good. It's really, that's where your bread and butter is.
Yeah, that's the main.
Because it's residual income. It keeps coming.
What's your favorite venue to play at?
Oh, they're all different. I mean, I would say the most memorable one for me, of course, is going to be Madison Square Garden. I played there twice. Or maybe 3 times. I think, twice I played there. And that was, for me, the most iconic thing, to stand there in New York City, MSG, 20,000 people singing every single song, every single word of your song back to you. This is mind-blowing. It was mind-blowing.
I can only imagine. That would be so...
I was in the back corner crying.
You must...
I was totally crying while he was on stage. Because for me, I grew up in New Jersey. So that's, my venue.
Seeing your honey up there. And
I remember when I was on Ellen for the first time, she was freaking out. Now, you got to remember, I was fresh from England. We do have Ellen in England, but it wasn't as big a show in England as it is here.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm looking at it like it's just another TV show. She goes, "You're on, now, do you understand? You're on Ellen." I was like, stop saying that. Now I'm freaking out.
Yeah.
I would rather not know how many people watch this show.
Was she really funny?
Oh, she was lovely. It was a nice time. But again, sometimes ignorance is bliss, especially for me.
Yeah.
I tell everyone around me, don't tell me who's in the crowd. Don't tell me how many people are watching. I'll tell you a quick little funny anecdote because I know we've got to wrap up soon, but I hate knowing those things. Give me the microphone, let me sing. I don't want to know who's watching, who's filming, is it live. Don't tell me. Just don't tell me. Let me do my job. Let me sing. Otherwise you get in your head, right? So I'm in India and I'm on X Factor India. So guy comes in. He goes, okay, Jay, you're going to be on in 10 minutes, okay? And I went, 10 minutes from now. He's like, yeah. And I was like, I told you guys to give me like an hour. I have to get ready. You understand? Like, I'm like this. I have to do my hair. I have to get ready. I was like, yeah, okay, no problem. Just let's call it 15 minutes. And I was like, okay. So then I'm going, okay, that means it's not live. Okay, cool. So
I love your voices too.
Right,
You've
right.
got it.
So now I go there and I go up and I do the performance.
Yeah.
And it goes great. Okay, cool. I come back. I go to the guy. I go, just out of interest, what's your sort of audience? He goes, about, I want to say maybe 200 million. I went, 200 million?
Oh my God.
People.
Yeah.
I was expecting like 200,000. I was like, what? Imagine he told me that just before going on stage.
Yeah, and you were
are all in your head going, 200 million. Basically, the size of America is going to be watching me sing right now. So for me, I'm like, don't tell me. I would rather not know. And that's how I get through everything. I'm just like, I'm easy then. Then you're just singing. You're having fun.
I do exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I speak now constantly, and I never want to know. No. Like, I want to know roughly like who is in the audience. Are they, CPA professionals, or are they, students? Or are they like what? Like, and that's it.
Yeah.
I don't want to know
where your focus should be.
That's about it. But I don't want to know anything more than that, and then I'm fine. Yeah. But if you start telling me, oh, by the way, your brother's in the audience, and then your girlfriends are all in this corner, then it just kind of messes me up a little bit, right?
Yeah,
and then the numbers, I can only imagine. That's crazy. Yeah. So we're gonna wrap it up a little bit, but I'm really curious, actually, from both of you guys. Yeah. I'm gonna start with Thara. Like, what are sort of like the top lessons that you feel like people should really know and sort of building out? I mean, I feel like you guys have not only built this incredible just overall business, but I feel like you've built this like relationship too, where it's like it just works. I mean, I just watch you guys bounce. There's no animosity in here, just going, be quiet over here or whatever. I mean, I feel like that's just super cool. So what are some of the lessons that you'd say just in sort of, I mean, it's clear you're happy, right? Like, and not just because you're here with me, you're like...
No, I think one of the biggest lessons that I have learned over the years in managing not just our relationship, but just all the relationships of all the different people that we have to work with, one of the biggest things I talk about is expectations. I think that expectations are such a huge hindrance because we put these expectations. I hold my bar very high of what I expect from myself and what I will give to anything that I'm doing. I give 200% to everything I do, but I can't expect that of everyone who works with me.
Interesting. Yeah.
Right? So I have to be really clear on what my expectations of him are as my artist and as my husband, because if I expect things of him that are not realistic of who he is, that's not his fault. It's my fault.
You'll just be let down.
I'm just let down.
Yeah.
Right?
I think that's a really important
point. And it goes the same way with the people that we work with. Like Jeremy, who's our business partner, works differently than we do. He works at a different pace than we do. So we are clear, like, this is how you work, this is how you choose to work, this is how we work. We have to understand that from each other. Because if you expect, like Jeremy knows, you can't call me at 9:30. I'm done at 9:30 p.m. My brain is fried. I've been up since 6:30 in the morning. I've taken care of 100 different things. Like, I'm just done at that point. So if you want me fresh and when I'm at my best, you have to call me earlier. Yeah. But I explain that to him. Yeah. That's the key to a good relationship, right? So I find that in everything I do with our businesses and just in all relationships in general, like setting realistic expectations. And one of the biggest things I do with people who work for us, people are so quick to get irritated when someone doesn't do something the right way. And I'll always say, did you explain to them that that was how you wanted it done? Were you so clear? Because
that's a really good point.
Yeah, that's the other thing I see people do in business. Like, we assume that people know what we want, and then when they don't do it exactly the way that we wanted,
then it upsets you. Yeah. No, that's a great point.
So I think that's a big thing that's a big lesson that I've learned over the years. And really, really put it.
And not just in the music industry, but in the yoga and everything, and management, everything. Yeah,
it's
I think
human
that's
relationships.
Yeah,
right.
I think that's a good one. Super good. How about you?
Honestly, I can't really add too much to it because I live the same way. Expectations is everything. It's like, it's my fault if my DJ messes up when I'm performing. Say, for example, I'm the one who hired him. I know his skill set. If he's not the best of the best or whatever, and he lets me down. Whose fault was that? I employed him. I knew that in the beginning. You know, my tour manager, if he's not on it, if he's not... I have refused to allow my mood and my general well-being and happiness to be dependent on other people's actions because they are too consumed with their own stuff. They've got stuff. Their number one priority is not making me happy. That's not at the top of their list. They've got bills to pay. They've got kids. They've got brothers and sisters. They've got a sister who might have cancer. They don't care if Jay Sean's not happy right now. So, you know, it's all about understanding that and knowing that people have their own stuff too. So, you know, and their own baggage and their own needs. And to not assume that you're on number one on all of that, you're not going to be.
So do you think as a leader, inspiring people is really the top thing, that they will follow with supporting you if you are inspiring them?
Absolutely. And I think that, you know, with me, I am at the top of the food chain in the whole company. Everyone's eating off me, let's be honest. Whether it's the lawyer, the business manager, the tour manager, the band, the DJ, the dancers, everyone, the producers, the songwriters. If my song's not a hit, everyone is under there.
Yeah.
So I have to be a good leader. I have to know what it takes to rally the troops, to get them going, to to make them feel inspired. But if I'm barking at them all the time, which is what a lot of people in powerful positions think is the way to do it, guess what? You're actually not inspiring any of them. They're all now demotivated because they're like, they don't want to see you win anymore.
Yeah.
This guy's a douchebag. I don't care if he's next. I'd rather work for someone else. But if they think this guy, he's top dog, they're going to want to see it win and be a part of it.
And I think leaders in any industry who understand that are way ahead. Way, way ahead. And as hard as it is some days to, not be that person that's barking, right? But instead, really try and inspire and lead. So
I think ultimately, really quickly, people want to be part of something that is either winning or is going to win. It makes people feel good. Why is it in sports when a team loses and you go, oh, how's the game, man? They're like, you know what? They sucked today, but they sucked. But when they win, oh man, we were crushing. We were killing it.
Yeah.
Now they're all they're part of the winning team. When they were losing, they had an off day. It's interesting. I've noticed that. And so if you inspire people, if you put them on a journey where they feel like they can be part of something that's going to win or something that they at least want you to win, I think that's the best way to get people going, because who doesn't want to be a part of that?
Super huge. So Thara and Jay, thank you so much. This was awesome.
Yeah, it was lovely.
You can learn more about what's next for Jay Sean and Thara by keeping up with them on Instagram @Jay Sean and @Thara Natalie. That's TharaNatalie. I love giving away things that are dear to my heart, like Hint Water. So for the next 3 months, I'll be choosing 5 lucky listeners each episode to win a year's supply. To enter, all you have to do is go to karagoldin.com/iTunes and leave a review. That's it. And if I see you tweeting it out and tagging me @KaraGoldin, you will increase your chances of being picked. And as a special thank you to all of our Unstoppable subscribers, for a limited time only, you can enjoy a special hint offer at drinkhint.com/unstoppable. If you like what you heard, please help spread the word and leave us a review. You can also follow along with me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn @KaraGoldin. Do you have a question for me or want to nominate an innovator to spotlight? Please talk to me at Kara Goldin on Twitter. Thanks so much for listening. Until next time, be unstoppable.